Hello, viewer. We'll be back online in a few. So in the meantime, kindly share the link with your networks.
We haven't got the link.
Okay, check your messenger.
We have not received the link.
Okay, check messenger.
We have not received the link.
I've sent on messenger.
We have not received the link.
Yes, I've seen.
Okay, Jackie, I'm sending it to you right now.
How do you copy the link? Iko kwa messenger, tumeambiwa to share with
Okay,
you.
I will send on WhatsApp. Karungu,
Yeah.
I'm sharing on WhatsApp. I'm sharing on WhatsApp. On your WhatsApp. Check WhatsApp. Check WhatsApp.
I'm there.
All right. Just a minute. So I've shared on WhatsApp, eh?
Yes.
I've shared.
Thank you.
So viewer, we are starting in the next 5 minutes. In the meantime, if you have not subscribed to this particular channel, kindly go ahead and do so. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, viewer. Yes, so I've shared the link, and yeah. So I just want to say thank you for joining us on this particular platform, which is Real Talk Show, hosted by yours truly, Violet Mbiti. And on the panel with me right now is Jackie Shibalira and Matthew Karungu Kamuyu. So the reason why we started this particular show is to discuss cross-cutting issues affecting the African continent, and also get to even listen in to what our change makers are doing in various parts of the continent as they curb COVID-19. So I'll start off with Jackie. Jackie, could you start by introducing yourself and your organization? Jackie, kindly start by introducing yourself and your organization. You're on mute. You're on mute. Yes.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Violet. Good morning, Matthew.
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here. Violet, thank you for the invite. Matthew, I can see you, and thank you for joining in. My name is Jacqueline Shibalira. I'm the director, Doors of Hope, and it is a center that caters for children with persons living with intellectual disability, mainly cerebral palsy and autism. We are based in Athi River, that is Mavoko sub-county, Machakos County. I'm happy to be here today to discuss some of the challenges and problems that are faced by persons living with intellectual disability during this.
So Jackie, can you hear me now? Seems like your internet has issues. All right. So let me bring on board. I'll bring on board Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Hi.
Matthew, kindly introduce yourself to the viewer.
Good morning. Thank you for the invite of Mati Karuku Kamoyo, a communication authority of Kenya as an intellectual property rights officer in the Innovation Research and Development Division.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So, yeah, so Matthew Karungu, as he has stated, he works at Communications Authority of Kenya as a programs officer. So, congratulations. So, Jackie has joined us again. So, Jackie.
Yes.
Hi, Jackie. Yes. Could you kindly continue from where you had stopped?
What did you ask? I beg your pardon again.
Yes, I'm saying you are introducing yourself and your organization. Could you kindly do so again, because your internet had an issue, so we couldn't hear clearly. And also state which country you are from.
As I said, my name is Jacqueline Shibalira. I'm the director, Doors of Hope. Doors of Hope is a center in Mavoko sub-county, Machakos County, in Kenya. And we are a center that caters for children or persons living with cerebral palsy, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Our center mainly offers special education and therapy, rehabilitative therapy for persons living with um, disability. And during this, I'm happy to be here today to be able to also talk about the challenges that we are facing right now, especially with the the pandemic having affected everyone and every of our children.
All right. So to start us off, first start by explaining what is intellectual disability, so that the viewer may understand.
Intellectual disabilities is a general, it's problem with general mental abilities that affects functioning and intellectual functioning and adaptive functioning. Intellectual functioning, I mean, it affects the brain or the mental aspect of a human being. And adaptive functioning, it means that it affects the life, for example, communication, movement, independent living. These two persons cannot be able to, to be able to be independent. But after therapy and certain rehabilitative strategies, then they can be able to be independent.
All right. So I just wanted to further ask you. So persons living with intellectual disability maybe also persons who have autism, persons who have cerebral palsy, and are there people that have left out?
Yes, there are various forms of intellectual disability, but the two that you have mentioned are part of the intellectual disabilities. There are others that have not been mentioned, like uh, hydrocephalus,
All right.
dyslexia. Yeah.
All right. So at this particular time of COVID-19, Jackie, what is the impact of COVID-19 on
The
persons
impact
living
of
with intellectual
COVID-19,
disability?
the impact of
Yes.
this pandemic has adversely affected persons living with disability generally, not only those who have intellectual disability. Intellectual disability is just part of um, the general forms of disability. So, persons, the major impact on this of this pandemic to persons living with disabilities is that majorly the people who have intellectual disability depend on caregivers, depend on care from given to them by caregivers. For example, parents or people who have been employed to take care of them so that they can be able to live an independent life. For example, the therapist, for example, the parent who has to be able to move to help this child or person move around, then it has adversely affected them. It's another impact is most of these people cannot be able to now get therapy because of the issue of movement. Movement has been curtailed. They cannot move to the therapy centers or hospitals or places where therapy is offered, or even the therapists coming to their homes to offer therapy. So you find that majorly or mostly most of the persons living with intellectual disability cannot be able to get therapy. But we thank God that with the pandemic going on, there are various strategies that different organizations, different people are putting in place to be able to um, function well again and be able to receive the therapies. Another impact is also the social distancing. You find that, for example, a child living who has autism, most of them are you find that they're hyper, they might not be able to concentrate. And you give them a mask to wear, and they will remove it. They do not understand. They cannot conceptualize the impact or what is going on around. When the pandemic started, there was a lot of there've been a lot of information going around on people being taught about um, the pandemic and ways of how they can be able to care for themselves and their families. But people with intellectual disabilities might not be able or may not be able to understand. So they are still living, they are already in a world um, that is filled with a lot of anxiety. And with the pandemic coming, it has caused more anxiety to them. So that is another major to their mental state, because they cannot be able to understand what is happening. People are in masks. People have to, people have to wear protective clothing when they're coming maybe for therapy, or they're going to a hospital for therapy. So they may not be able to understand that well. Um, Hello, I
Yeah,
cannot
so
hear
right
you,
now,
Violet.
yeah, so I'm saying right now, let's now talk to Matthew. Matthew, can you hear me? You have muted your line? Yes. Yeah, so Matthew, I'd like to ask you, kindly share with the viewer, how is it like right now as a person living with cerebral palsy? Kindly share your experience with the viewer.
For me, I work from home, so everything that work I do it from home. It is not easy because we can we cannot even go to church or go somewhere because the cars we are told to be at a high risk.
Okay, all right. So,
We we cannot do things like therapy. We cannot do our daily activities. So you must be home all the time.
okay. So, Matthew, I'd like to ask you, do you like have a caregiver at the moment who takes care of you?
I stay with my
Oh, kindly let's see them.
mommy.
Oh, that's your mom. Oh, very nice.
Well, yeah,
Hi,
Hi, mom. How are you?
Hello.
very well.
No, don't disappear. Come back.
I'm not disappearing.
No, no,
Am
no,
I
no.
disappearing?
Yes.
I'm
No.
there.
So, mom, I'd like to ask you. Um,
Yes.
kindly share the. So, kindly share how is your experience taking care of Matthew at this particular period of COVID-19?
I guess he's not doing what he usually does because he works. So he would go to work every day, and I would go do what I need to do, and then we see each other in the evening. So now he's here. So most of the times I have to be home, at least to make sure there is food for him and things like that. But Matthew is pretty independent in most other ways. He's working from home, so most of the times he's doing his work. But it's not the same because I'm the only one around here, so I have to be around. The biggest thing is that he used to have a physiotherapist who would come on weekends when he's not working for his physiotherapy. So for now, like the last 3 months, we haven't had therapy. And with the CP people, therapy is a way of life.
CP, kindly elaborate. What does CP mean?
Cerebral palsy.
Okay.
They should be constantly on therapy. So I don't know. By the time now we open up and the therapist is able to come, I don't know how far we have got now. But by and large, I guess because all of us are at home, remember I'm also over 60, so I'm not moving around too much. So
yes.
We are having our me time with me.
Oh, awesome. So, ma'am,
But I can imagine the ones with smaller kids that need more constant care. It cannot be easy if you have to be with them, because now the therapy centers, most of them are closed. If you have to be with them, take care of them all the time, and you also have to provide for them.
all right. So,
Yeah.
so I'd like to ask you, Matthew's mom, is the government providing you the government had said that it's going to support persons with disability. So I wanted to know whether Matthew has also received support from the government, and also what challenges are you facing as a caregiver?
That support from the government, I think, is really for the people who are vulnerable. And now, because Matthew is a registered employee and he gets a salary, we didn't apply. First, it's very difficult. You are told to go to your home area. That's early in the years when I was trying to apply. So we are not on that program.
All right. So,
Simply because he's a registered employee and the tax people do him and things like that. So it is difficult to go and claim that money now.
all right. So, Matthew's mom, could you kindly maybe come closer to the screen so that the viewer can see you clear? Yes, there. So I just wanted all right. So I just wanted you to what is your message to moms who are taking care of children with cerebral palsy? Kindly share with them your experience and your word of encouragement to them, even at this particular period of time.
I think what I would say is that
we can't see you clearly.
Can you see me? And now?
You have to be at the center. Yes, there is okay.
There is okay.
Continue.
What I would tell the caregivers and anybody with cerebral palsy is that it's a journey. We get quite disappointed with the milestones that are missed. And so we have to have a lot of patience, because each day is not like yesterday. And you cannot time this child and say that by the time he's 3 years, 4 years, he's going to have done A, B, C, and D. It will be different for every child. I know around this time it's more difficult because the services that are usually provided, especially things like therapy or a place you can go and leave your child so that you're able to go to work, are closed. So really, it must be very challenging, but I would just say them, we trust in God, in His plan for these children, and we take one day at a time. It's very difficult to plan for a CP child, a cerebral palsy child. And then also, you can't just leave that child with anybody. So this is the time they need us most, because they are more and more vulnerable when there are many other people around them, and it's out of the normal, so they don't know who are the strangers, they can't run away. You can imagine a child sitting down and they can't run away if they see somebody, or they can't talk if something is done to them. I think more and more now they need our attention.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the other could you kindly bring Matthew on the line? Matthew? Yes. Hi, Matthew.
Hi.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, what are the interventions that you have put in place at this particular period of time as an advocate to curb COVID-19?
Repeat it again.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, what are the interventions that you have put in place as an advocate of persons living with intellectual disability? What are you doing? Are you providing mentorship to other persons with intellectual disability?
Like what I can say I do, that is a group started by AMREF, and
Ah,
one of my classmates has been spearheading the group. So we usually have Zoom meeting to discuss how we are coping with COVID-19.
all right. Okay, very nice, very nice. So, okay, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No,
All right. So let me bring Jackie. But Jackie, Jackie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I'd like to ask you, what challenges are persons with disabilities facing now?
Many people with living with disabilities are facing a lot of challenges in terms of support. Mainly have to depend. Many of them have to depend on their caregivers. Just as you see, Karungu has said that sometimes he has to depend 90% probably of his time. He has to depend on his caregiver. That is the mother. So basically, the mother right now cannot go out to work. Mothers of children with disability cannot go to work, so which means that the income has also been affected. So they need to be supported in terms of food, medication. Some of them cannot get medication. You can imagine those living in slum areas, those who do not have even an extra income or way of making money to be able to buy medicine. So that has also been affected. Then also in terms of movement, since there's no movement, and majority of them would move to hospitals, would go outside, probably just around the compound or around the area where they live, to get some of the see the environment outside. Now they cannot do that, and they have to be stay inside, which is also increasing more anxiety on them. Another thing that they have been affected with is in terms of care, health care. For example, if a child with intellectual disability gets sick now, for example, a few days ago, family of a child who had cerebral palsy got sick, and these children keep moving around. So there's a lot of when they're taken to hospital, it is very difficult to calm this child down, to be able to take, for example, samples, and also misdiagnosis of the condition. Because, for example, a child convulses, and when they're taken to hospital, at this moment, the first thing is that, oh, this child has a fever, so they're put on isolation. So there's a lot of also that's a green area where the medical facilities or system has also to look at and are learning from during this pandemic.
Okay.
As I think Alinda has, okay, you saying something?
Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted.
Violet, you're saying something?
Yeah. So I just wanted to explain to the viewer. Because they also need to know about Dose of Hope. Dose of Hope, how many persons with cerebral palsy are you supporting or are you caring for?
Currently, we are
We
caring
can't.
for about 164 households within Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm saying we
Continue.
are caring for about 164 households within Mavoko. I said we're caring for about 164 families or households within Mavoko and part of Kajiado East. And so far, many of these families have not had foodstuffs, so we have reached to them and provided for them foodstuffs, and reached to our other partners who have been able to give us medicine that we are now distributing to the children. Our major challenge is also on medication and therapy. So we have the outreach program also, where we are reaching or sending our therapists to various homes to offer therapy for the children.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you, is the government of Kenya currently supporting persons with intellectual disability? Are there any interventions?
We have heard from the news, from the media several times where the government or the president has announced that there is a package for persons living with disability. But so far, from the information that I have from our caregivers and our households, none of the families have received any help from the government in terms of the packages that the government has said that it will do. Although we have received a few messages this morning from the National Council where we are identifying
National
the
Council,
most severe cases
National Council, kindly
of persons with disabilities.
give the full name.
National Council of Persons with Disabilities, the NCPWD. They have sent messages. They've sent us a circular where we had to identify the persons with severe disability allowance that will help them also during this time in the next 2 months. So we are in the process of doing that this morning. We have received help from well-wishers and other organizations that are dealing with persons with disabilities, but various disabilities. For example, the Kenya Association of Intellectual Disabilities has also helped us. Andy has also helped us to get us medicine for our children, and we're thankful for that. And there are some interventions that Those of Hope has put in place to help or to be able to help the caregivers, to help the children or persons living with the intellectual disabilities. We are doing a capacity building training for the caregivers, where we are training them on how they can maintain cleanliness, they can offer therapy at home for the children, because now they have to take up another role. The caregivers have to take an additional role of being a caregiver, of being a therapist. And since the therapists are not able to reach all of them, and since they do not have even enough finances to be able to take them to a hospital for therapy at this moment, then we are training them on how they can be able to offer therapy, movement therapy at home for the children, apart from teaching them on cleanliness and also other social economic activities like making masks, making soap, that they can be able to earn something for
All right.
their
So,
families.
Jackie, I'd like to ask you, what changes are we anticipating after COVID-19?
There are a lot of changes that will affect children. Number one, there are some that are positive changes. There are others that are negative changes. Well, let's start with the positive changes. Is that now families, households will now learn to be able to take up roles. For example, the siblings can also take up the roles of taking care of the family. There's that bonding together with the person, because most of the time the whole household will go out and work and leave this person living with disability alone, probably at home, and the loneliness. So, but with this pandemic, families have been able to bond, understand, accept that one of their family members is living with this condition. On the negative part, we have regressing in terms of development, not developmental, but the adaptive functioning. It will regress in the sense that when the children or persons go for therapy, they are taught on life skills of daily living, how they can be able to hold cups, how they can be able to feed themselves alone, the movements. And this will regress because now the therapist is not there to be able to teach them. The teachers in the schools are not there to be able to teach them. So we are um, actually partnering with other organizations to see how best we can be able to teach the parents and the caregivers to do these things at home.
Okay, okay. So as we come now to the end of the broadcast, so Matthew, could you kindly unmute your line? Yes, so Matthew, as we finalize on the broadcast, do you have a message, final message that you'd like to share with other persons living with cerebral palsy here in Kenya and around the world?
That for them just to follow the directive of what they are told by the government in the country. If you are told to stay home, not go out if you do not have something to do outside. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Jackie, kindly unmute your line, Jackie. Yeah, so Jackie, what is your final message now?
Yes,
What is your
Violet.
final message to caregivers and also
Hello?
persons living with intellectual
Yes.
disability?
My message to persons living with intellectual disabilities is that we are together in this, and majorly they may not understand, but majorly that for the caregivers who are taking care of them is that we support you in the whole process of taking care of your children. We are here to help you and advocate for you, so that the government can also recognize persons living with disability. We also urge the government to include persons living with intellectual disability in most of the policy meetings, or actually include their caregivers who can be able to advocate for them. Organizations dealing with disability also, we urge them that we should come together and be able to advocate for persons living with disability, especially in terms of support from the government, support financially, support educationally, support health wise, and this will be able to help them.
Okay. So what is
Violet?
yeah, so like at this particular period of time, do you have a fundraising campaign going on, and what is your message now to donors towards persons living with intellectual disability?
We have a campaign going on. It's called Feed a Disabled Child. And we are reaching out to well-wishers and donors to be able to support us to feed these children, because most of their caregivers or parents are single parents, or they do not have an income. They they do not have any income. So to feed them, we need support them. Our organization has been feeding most of them, and we urge any donor or any well-wishers who would like to support us through our Mchanga link, which I will send in a few. And also you can go to our website, www.doseofhope.co.ke, or use our pay bill to, which is 680426, to support persons living with intellectual. Feed a child, buy some medicine for a child, and they'll be able to change. You'll be able to change a life.
Okay. So
Thank you, Violet.
all right, thank you. So kindly share the link for the Mchanga link on the comment section, not on the private chat, on the comment section, Jackie, so that anyone who'd like to support your campaign can go ahead and do so. And yeah, so Matthew, finally, I'd like to ask you, what is your message to donors?
Yeah, don't not do not just give give up after today come up during this time of COVID-19.
Okay. Yeah. So, to the various stakeholders who are watching us from various parts of the world, if you are able to provide financial support, whether in-kind support or even financial support, kindly go ahead and support organizations that support persons living with disability. So today we have been speaking about persons living with intellectual disability to get to understand what they are going through at this particular period of COVID-19. So Jackie will share shortly the link for the fundraising campaign. So kindly support her and her team. And thank you, Matthew, for the wonderful work you are doing. Thank you, Jacqueline, for the wonderful work that you are doing. Yeah. So Jackie, maybe what you can do is, Jackie, you can share on the private chat the link to the Mchanga link, and also your website as well. And also Matthew, if there is if you'd like maybe to share your contacts so that maybe someone else can call you, that is okay, but it is not a must. All right, so it is up to you if you'd like to share your contact. Okay. Yeah, so Jackie has shared the website of Dose of Hope. So I've shared it on the I've shared it on YouTube. So if you'd like now to get in touch with them, kindly go ahead. So viewer, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you for taking your time, and see you tomorrow, because we are going to discuss investing during COVID-19. So we have an expert on board. If you have any questions for him, kindly do so. So tomorrow we are also going to start at 11 a.m. and we look forward to seeing you. Asanteni. Thanks to Jackie for gracing the set. Thanks also to Matthew for gracing the set. Kwaherini. Aya, sawa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe by clicking on this on the subscription button, and also share the link with your networks. Asanteni.